Three powerful words, made in Italy. They conjure up images of the great Italian designers, Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, Valentino. And as a brand, made in Italy doesn't come cheap. Customers pay 10, 20, or even 100 times more for a handbag or dress that's made in Italy, compared to one, say, made in China. Made in Italy fashion and design is a $30 billion a year export business. To understand it, go to Prato, the center of Italian textile production since the Renaissance. The Bisenzio River provided abundant water for the dyeing processes. So for centuries, Prato has exported cloth to the rest of Europe and made its citizens wealthy. The tunics worn by the Medici family were woven here.
The people of Prato see their city as long overshadowed by nearby Florence, but they are enormously proud of this place and worry it's under siege, a victim of globalization out of control.
This is made in Italy today. Luxury cloth produced on the best machines, monitored by fussy Italians who know their stuff. It's what buyers expect. And this is the other made in Italy. A sweatshop in an old warehouse. These Chinese workers are paid as little as $2 a day. Many of them are illegal. They work with cheap Chinese materials that are also often smuggled in. What they produce gets labels that say made in Italy, put in boxes that say made in Italy. And it is, sort of. What they're making isn't illegal. The Chinese aren't making knockoffs or fake purses. They're knocking off the entire Made in Italy brand name. You see, Italian law doesn't specify how much must be made in the country to be considered local. So if a few buttons are sewn on in Italy, presto, it's made in Italy. All the police can do is arrest those who've been smuggled in, often by the Italian mafia. Some of them will be deported, but it doesn't make a dent in the business. There's plenty more work to find in Prato's Chinatown.
Throughout Chinatown, the walls are covered with phone numbers. These are help wanted ads. You lose one job, just call another.
The Italians never wanted it this way, but they are the ones who started the Chinese immigration. Prato was in decline. European labor was getting too expensive, and Prato couldn't compete. So in 1989, Prato's textile merchants brought in 38 workers from one of the poorest sections of China, known for its textiles. It was supposed to be a little cheap labor, a boost. But those first 38 brought relatives, and the relatives brought more relatives. For them, Italy is a road out of poverty. The mayor's office estimates that there are now 50,000 Chinese in Prato, nearly 1 in 3 residents. And most of the locals can't stand it.
Noi purtroppo siamo occidentali e non siamo orientali.
Massimo Bernocchi is one of the old school textile men.
Noi abbiamo del rispetto per le persone, abbiamo il rispetto per il lavoro, abbiamo il rispetto. Questi non hanno rispetto per niente.
Girando Prato si nota qualcosa subito, di una presenza molto grande di cinesi.
Sì, la comunità cinese di Prato è una cosa vergognosa.
Bigoted though it may sound, Bernocchi blames the Chinese government for what's happened in Prato and says it should be a warning to every industry in the West.
Ma Pechino sta monopolizzando tutta l'Europa, non solo Prato. Vai a Madrid ci sono le comunità, vai a Parigi loro fanno la guerra all'Occidente in questa maniera qui. Non è che facciano la guerra con le armi, loro fanno la guerra con l'economia.
Like many of Italy's picturesque medieval towns, Prato is a walled city. Today, the wall separates the Italians from the Chinese, a physical barrier on a cultural fault line. Inside the walls is the old town. Just outside the walls, along Via Pistoiese, is a sprawling Chinese ghetto in the heart of Tuscany. Many who once worked in sweatshops now run their own successful family businesses. In the hills above Prato, we meet Agnese Morganti and Malia Zhang, journalists who are creating a digital book on young Prato Chinese. They hope to use social media to help cross an increasingly bitter divide. Malia was born in Italy after her parents came to work in the textile business.
Si dice molto spesso che I cinesi sono venuti qui in Italia per rubare il lavoro, sono qui venuti senza l'intenzione di integrarsi, ma solo per approfittarsi dell'Italia. Mi piace chiamarla come intolleranza silenziosa, razzismo silenzioso.
There's a silent racism.
Che non è visibile ma è percepibile.
It's not the Chinese people who live in Prato who've done harm to the city's economy. The city's economy has done harm to itself, and globalization has put Prato in danger.
You don't think the Chinese have ruined the textile industry here, or are taking over the brand made in Italy, or you do think they are?
No, they're not doing that. Well, if they're taking over, anything they're taking over, it's the Italian who allow them to take over. They're not going there and throwing anyone out of the place. They're buying anything that the Italians are willing to sell them.
Agnese introduced us to her 87-year-old grandmother, whose residence of 40 years now lies in the heart of Chinatown.
La domenica sera poi al supermercato sono tutti cinesi. Tutti cinesi. Italiani neanche uno.
Rita Morganti doesn't share others' view of the Chinese. No, she says, they aren't friendly. They don't say good morning and good evening, but there's no crime. They work very hard, and if you need something, they won't turn you away. And they are quickly learning Italian ways.
E sono andata avanti. Sempre avanti, sempre avanti, sempre avanti.
Are they the new Italians?
Sono nuovi italiani.
Prato's great treasure is the cathedral with the outdoor pulpit sculpted by Donatello in the 1430s. And the priceless frescoes done by Fra Filippo Lippi in the 1450s. The natives of Prato are devoted to their legacy and wistful for the prosperity of the 60s and 70s before the Chinese came. The population is aging. Birth rates are falling. At the Chinese Catholic service at the Church of the Ascension, it's all about the future. Tuscany offers more opportunity, a better climate, and freedom from China's one-child policy. These are the new Italians. It is the eve of Chinese New Year, and Father Antonio Wang tells them this is a time for family. And even though they are all far away from their families, he says they should find solace from being together in the church. For the Buddhists in Prato, New Year's Day is sacred. The Prato Chinese pray that the Taoist god of wealth will make the new year prosperous. For everyone else, it's just another Monday when a market takes over the parking lot next to the Buddhist center. Around the world, it's also the time of the dragon dance. In Prato, it's always controversial. Some locals don't want the dance to happen at all. And the dragon's movements are tracked by authorities. It does go through the city wall, but just barely. The mayor won't let the dragon anywhere near the cathedral in the city center. The Italians still make the rules in Prato, but the Chinese make the clothes. Rita Morganti, for one, has made peace with that.
Il mondo che gira così bisogna farlo girare, non andargli dietro, o no? Non bisogna rimanere all'epoca delle epoche, bisogna cercare di andare avanti.
For her granddaughter, however, globalization may have changed Prato, but its residents are still in the past. The wall between cultures is so high that Chinese call the Italians Waiguoren, foreigners.
The word itself, Waiguoren, is used by the Chinese to describe the Italians. And of course, the Italian straniero is used by the Italians to describe the Chinese.
So both sides are calling each other foreigners.
Definitely, yeah.
So you have two foreigners living in the same city.
Exactly, yeah.
And they don't know each other.
They don't.